When you're going to school as a young boy, you make your friends at school, as we all did, I think. Everyone makes friends somewhere along the line. You're lost without them. And then as you grow older, you get to grade 7, and it's a lot of them split up because you've got to change schools to go into a technical school or a high school. So anyhow, my mob, we all went to change from Theverton Primary School over to Theverton Technical School in Ashley Street, Torrenceville. So we all met again there, and then it was even closer because by this time we were all just about in the same class. I was in Bodner. I know he was in 1A. He must have been the brightest. The other three of us was in 1B. But then there was another lad that come into the group, but I don't know where Kevin, he was older, but I don't know, he didn't come to schools with us. So anyhow, he just come into us later on. Kevin Lodge, he made the fourth one. So there was myself, Kevin Bodner, Kevin Cox, Kevin Lodge and myself, and as I said, there was Ronnie Ellis. So that made the five five mates. So 4 mates I had, they were bloody good mates too. And we mucked around with our push bikes. We went camping and riding all over the place with the bikes and chatted to Sheilas on our bikes, but we were too young. All the Sheilas looked at us and said, "Oh no, they're too bloody young. I want somebody with a bloody motor car or a bike." So we got chased off. But anyhow, we turned 16, I got a motorbike. And so that was that. That's changed things again. So next thing, we all had bikes. So then we could ride, all except Kevin Lodge. He didn't get one. I don't know what happened. He was just a loner, Kevin, but he was a funny bugger. He was the oldest of one of the lot of us, but that was Kevin Lodge. But he always got a pillion seat until we all got girls. Oh, hang on, no, he used to go out with Cocky. Cocky, he never had a girlfriend. Right up, well, he died a bachelor. He only died a couple of years back in the where are we now? In the 80s, no, 90s. Kevin would have died. Yes, it was in the 90s, yeah. So anyhow, that's how you get to your mates, and then you stick together. You go anywhere, there's always somebody there. If you go around to that Kev's place or that Kev's place, you're always welcome. The mothers had us all numbered 1 to 4, 1 Kevin, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That was the easiest way, and then here's Ronnie Ellis, or that was okay. That's how it was. But as you get older again, you all get girlfriends, so you get up to 17, 18. By the time we got to 18, we used to go into the pub. We weren't supposed to. 21 was the age limit then. The pubs did shut at 6 o'clock too, back in those days. Anyhow, we used to sneak into the pubs at 18, especially one, the Jolly Miller Hotel around in Hindmarsh. But we were pretty quiet, never caused a blue-boo, and we used to go in there and just grab a schooner, and Cocky, he was mad on peanuts, and go over and sit in the corner and just play cards Saturday afternoon, and quiet, and you'd see the copper come in, of course, come through the door, and he'd be over there talking, and talking to the barman or the owner of the pub, whatever, and he'd be eyeing us up and down, and because we were quiet, they left us alone. I don't know what the conversation was about, but evidently the bloody publican probably said, well, the lads are quiet, so yeah, they're okay. And so that's how we got out of trouble. But then Saturday afternoons, that was a good way to spend it. But then come, lunch, tea time, whatever, you dive home and all go our separate ways. And get cleaned up and then go and pick up your girlfriends. In my case, it was always Colleen. I'd go and grab Colleen, and Bodner would go out with Jennifer. Cocky never had a girlfriend. Ronnie Ellis had one, I can't think of her name. Antia or something her name was, I think. But anyhow, that's how it was. So you're stuck without mates, and if you can stick with mates with a life, you're well endowed with all the home truths and all the bloody life truth things, that you can get. At 19, I got married, so and then we went to Port Augusta, so I was the first one to break away up the scrub a bit, but the others all stopped in Adelaide, of course, and Kevin Bodner, he got married and he stopped in Adelaide, and Cocky never got married, nor did Lodgy. Ronnie Ellis, they tell me, I found out in later years that he done a bunk and he finished up in Sydney, so I don't know what happened there, whether he went off with the Anthea or whatever. But I never heard from him again, right up to the time I come back from Port Augusta, 20 years later, and Bodner said no, he just disappeared. But anyhow, Bodner and I sort of met up again, and we seen Kevin Cock. Kevin Lodge had drank himself to death, so Kev told me. He won $10,000 in a lottery once, but he blew that. And next thing Kevin knew, he used to come around to see him occasionally, but he was always pissed. So he said, he just dropped out, and next thing you heard, he's dead. But at 80, I'm still here, and Kevin Bodner's still here, but he may as well not be with the way it's going on. I can't understand him. He retired at 60, and he hasn't done a bloody thing since. So, and I was around there about 3 months back to say, I used to pop in and say good day, and one time he used to come over here, but then he couldn't walk. Last time I went around there and popped in to say good day, he didn't even come out of his bedroom. Jenny, he married Jenny, and Jenny said to me that that's all he does. That's all he's ever done since he's retired. Just lay on his fucking bed and read a book or bloody watch a TV, or that's it. And only time he leaves the house, he said he'd go shopping. Now, that's 20 years now he's been doing that. And, Jesus, he can't walk. He's bloody near it. Well, he's a cripple at that, in that effect. And anyhow, I said, well, bugger this, he wouldn't even come out and say hello. So, well, bugger this, I'm not going around there anymore. Waste of bloody time. I go around to see him, and he just won't come out of his bedroom. So anyhow, I let it slide. And about 3 or 4 weeks back, Jenny rang. Find out whether I was still alive, I suppose. And I knew she'd been crooked, and so I asked her how she was going. She said, well, I've been very, very lucky in my life. I've had bloody good mates. And at this stage, I've had Colleen for 41 years and Kath now for 20-odd. And I'd be lost without Kath and my daughter, Kim, because she's the main carer, because Kath and I split up. And she's got her own little unit now, and we just visit each other, and we're the best of mates. So there you are. Your other mate is always your partner. So with that, I'll knock that one over. We'll go on to something else.